Hello, welcome to my podcast. My name is Nicole and I am the brains and the beauty behind Yarn Craft by Nicole. Today's featured make is the Tunisian two-tone cowl. This is my own design. I released a tutorial for this finally over this past weekend, and it has been perfect for the snowy weather we've had here in Michigan of just getting cozy, throwing something on that's not in the way, and it is a great, quick, easy, fun project. So if you want to make your very own Tunisian two-tone cowl, check out my tutorials here on YouTube and let me know what you think. It uses 1 skein each of worsted weight yarn, about 200 grams per skein. You'll use a little bit more of the color that you use on the border, but I had 1 skein each of woolies from Lion Brand and was able to make this. I actually bought extra red, so I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with that. Also, I don't know if y'all can see it here, but look, I've got on my yarn is my love language sweatshirt today. My husband got this from me for Christmas and I love it. It is one of Tony Lipsy's part of her merch that you can find on her website, tlyarncrafts.com, and it's perfect. It's just a cozy sweatshirt that's yarny, so what's not to like? So I only have a couple of projects per se that are in the queue. So I'm going to start with my one finished project, and it's going to look a lot different from the last time that you saw it. So this is the Cartecay Shawl, beautiful, that Classic City Crochet is releasing, I think sometime in February. It's currently still in testing, but that is that shawl. And the last time that you saw it, I had the blue color right next to this color. And when I bought these 2 skeins from Hugh Made in New York, I was like, oh, these will be a perfect fade. But after I had crocheted them up together, this pulled more cool tones, this pulled more warm tones, and together it just looked a little off. If I had done a fade that was less of just like finish that skein, start the skein, if it was like in a linen stitch fade or maybe like a confetti DK pullover, it probably wouldn't have been as noticeable, but I just didn't like it. So even though I was trying to make this all from stash, I did go to my local yarn store Spun, which I love, and I found this yarn on clearance, and I actually bought this skein in like a dark blue, and I thought the dark blue is what I would use, but when I put it next to the other ones, it just looked too denim-y and not like that really saturated inky color. So I pulled this one, I was like, that looks pretty good. And I already had the rest of it. I had that kind of acidy green color in my stash and I love it. I don't have anything in my closet that's like this, that's handmade, like any shawls or anything that are like this. I usually gravitate towards blues and teals, greens. I do have a hot pink one, but this will be really fun and nice. And I like too, by switching to that tonal pink, that you can see the texture of the shawl even better. And then the border, I really like, because this stitch is the same as the rest of the border, but it almost looks intentional because I had 2 rows of the blue here and 2 rows of the blue there. So I really like it. I just finished blocking it and it did grow a decent amount. It's a good, I don't know, I feel like the proportions of this from a center out shawl are just really good proportions. Like it doesn't feel too drapey in the middle and too wide, or like too wide on the edges. So I like this a lot. I can just show you what it looks like on even over my cowl. So the cool thing about this is that when it's on, you still get a little bit of each color, because this is probably how I'll wear it. In fact, since it's been really snowy, I think I might even take pictures of this today or tomorrow, because I think all of the light being reflected off of the snow will make this look even cuter. So I love this Carticay shawl from Classic City Crochet. This is the first pattern test I'm doing this year. Maybe I'll do one a month. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how many I do this year, but I really liked this one a lot. And it's all DK weight too, which I also like. I gravitate towards fingering weight shawls, and I do love a fingering weight shawl, but this is just a nice little bit more weight, a little cozier, and it just worked up really quickly. I loved the stitch pattern on that. So that's my only finished object since last time. I did finish the Minnie Mouse blanket, which I do love. It's currently in the washing machine right now so that it can be washed and sent off. So the other project that I'm working on is this pretty thing. Now I started this yesterday because we had a snow day, and I crochet pretty quickly, and I feel like this is gonna take forever, but I kind of like that it's gonna take forever. So let me see if I can like have it lay so that you can see what this is. This is gonna be the, I think it's pronounced Lagom, L-A-G-O-M, I'll put it in the description, sweater from Nomad Stitches. It was in her colorful crochet knitwear book, and I haven't made anything out of the book yet. And they've got these mosaic, see if the light can adjust a little bit, mosaic patterns, and then some single crochets in the back loop. And the way that the pattern is written is that there are like skinnier stripes of this and then bigger stripes of the mosaic crochet. But the way I'm going to be doing this is, since I'm using the mini skein set that I got from Hugh Loco for my birthday, I am going to just start and stop one until I run out. So for example, I did the, what is it, a faux I-cord here at the top, and then the short rows all in one color, and that's as much as I had of that color. So then I started the next color here and paired it with the third color for this little section. And then once I ran out of this, I stopped that, did a round of the third color, went until I ran out, started the next color, and so on. So as mine goes down, instead of having some that are skinnier and some that are wider, mine are going to be about the same as it goes down until I just use everything. But my solid sections are going to be a little bit bigger than what she has in the book. The way that she has in the book is gorgeous. I love it. I think it's great. But I want all of these colors to be next to each other, and I want to use them until I run out. So I want to make the most efficient use of the yarn that I have. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And I really like it. My goal is to finish this, let me hold it up again. My goal is to finish this before the March Midwest Craft Con so that I can wear it there and impress people with my crocheting skills. So very excited about this. I've never done a faux I-cord, and I've also never done mosaic crochet, which is something I wanted to try. Honestly, I wanted to try it last year, but I just ran out of time with other projects that I like. But it's fun, and it's really thick. Like, it's thicker here than it is there, which I think will also be nice to have some of those stripes a little bit skinnier. I don't know, both would be good. But I'm excited for this, and I think it's going to be awesome. And the next color that I'll be adding is like a really, it's almost neon, kind of an orangey pink. The lighting in here just does not like to pick up. It can either pick up this or it can pick up my skin tone, but it can't pick up both right now. But I really like this a lot, and it's kind of addictive. So I think that if in order to get anything else done on anything, I'll probably say, okay, I'll finish this section and then I'll put it aside for a while. But I like that a lot. So, oh, here's the other project I was working on. So this, once I finished the Minnie Mouse blanket, and I wasn't quite ready to start that sweater because I knew that was going to take a lot of thinking. And I just kind of wanted a mindless project to work on. I've had this project in my stash for a little while. I'm also going through all of my, I'm going to try to, there we go. I'm also trying to go through all of my yarn since we're going to be moving later this year so that I can use up as much as possible and then donate what I know I'm not going to be using. So I had started this a while ago, but I picked it up over the past week since I've seen you. Make sure that I'm not losing my place. And it's just a scrappy corner to corner blanket. So all of this is acrylic yarn. This is left over from the Minnie Mouse blanket. This is left over from the Christmas tree ornaments I made over the holidays. This is left over from, I think, 2 different projects that I used in the Minnie Mouse blanket. So it's fun, it's easy. I've gotten to the point where I'm now decreasing again, but I'm making this for my sister's dog, my Neff dog, because he really enjoyed a blanket that I had made that was at my parents' house, and I was like, does Carter need his own blanket? She's like, I think he does. So this is gonna be for Carter. It'll be nice because it's relatively heavy. I mean, it's corner to corner, and sometimes those can be a little heavier, but also it's all acrylic, so throw it in the wash, throw it in the dry, get the dog hair off, easy peasy. But I like it. And I've got, you know, just a random assortment of other colors I'm gonna throw in here. So it's nice, it's mindless. I will say though, again, this will lead me into my next thing, that I broke my resin furls hook doing this blanket. I don't know how it happened. Literally was just going into a stitch, and sometimes, you know, going into these can be a little tighter, but I was like, did this just happen? Did I just break this hook? I mean, resin is strong and frills are great hooks, so I don't know what's going on. Also, when I was learning CPR in high school, they told me that I almost broke the CPR doll, so maybe I just have too much strength in my hands and my arms. And that's, I mean, this is just scrappy goodness. I've got a couple of ideas for different scraps. In fact, maybe that's what I'll talk about next. So I watch a couple of crafters here on YouTube, and it's just nice to watch crafters on YouTube, because if you live in a place where you don't have a lot of crafty friends, or maybe you're new to an area, it's nice to just feel like you're hanging out with somebody. So I was watching Nitty Natty's, watching her videos about how she was trying to get rid of scraps in 2023. That was her goal. 2022, she was getting rid of stash yarn. 2023, she's working through scraps. And she was showing how she had things organized. Now, Natalie of Nitty Natty is more organized than I will ever be. And that's fine. Everybody, like, you gotta find what works for you. But she had a lot of her things just in clear Ziploc bags, labeled on the front with what it was. I'm like, that's very easy. More moving, and she had this from when she was moving. Maybe I should do that. So I went through, and I've got a couple of different things that I know I want to use together for scrappy projects. So these are all sport weight minis, and they might not all get used in the same project. Like, I really like this color and this color. They were used in the same project together, and I think it would look really cool with this as well as with this. These were both used in the same project. And then I have leftovers from the Juvie cowl that I made over Christmas. So I think that most of these will get used in the same project together. Haven't decided what that is. I also have some DK weight minis that I'm gonna do the same thing with, that I have like in a bag. I have my fingering weight fancy linen stitch blanket that I'm still working on with fingering weight minis that kind of coordinate in color. So I don't know that I want to make another linen stitch blanket, but I thought maybe granny squares for the DK weight yarn. And like, I've never made a traditional granny square blanket where you literally like change colors all the time. Like, I've done a granny square table runner, but each granny square was a solid mini, but I've never made a granny square blanket. And I think that I have enough space from when I made the temperature blanket that maybe my husband will freak out if I start another blanket. But if it's DK weight minis, and I can just kind of add to it along and along, as long as I remember to do it and use yarn that I like, maybe I'll finish it. So I don't know what this one will become yet. But I like these colors together, and I think that they make sense together, and they're very happy, and I like happy colors. So there's that. The other thing that I did when I went to Spun is I bought yarn that I said I wasn't going to buy in January, but let's go back to that real quick. So I wanted to do a yarn fast in January and not buy any new yarn and just work from scraps. And I think that was a good goal to set for myself. However, I did buy yarn for the Minnie Mouse blanket because I needed to finish that before, which again, I finished it very quickly because I got addicted to the pattern, or that I just wanted to finish the pattern once I got into it. I wanted to get that out of the way and make sure that I had enough time to get it to the mama before the little girl arrived. But with this, buying another skein was going to be necessary because the yardage that I had was not the yardage that I was going to need. And so I had to buy another skein of this. And then the extra skein will go into the Hattie T that I want to do that has the granny squares at the bottom by Holly Woodward Designs. I believe that is her name. Which I haven't started yet, but I've started to compile colors that I think go together. And what I have so far is pretty moody, and like there's some reds and blues, and there's a lavender that I might just put into whatever I do with the other DK yarn, because it's a little bit of a wild card there. But anyway, what I bought will go towards that, so that's fine. And saying that I wasn't going to buy yarn really kept me from buying yarn unnecessarily, and that's good. And I think maybe for each month I have kind of a goal of a project that maybe I want to do. Like next month, I know I'm going to need to buy more of this color to finish the sweater. I know I will, but maybe that's the one splurge purchase that I make on yarn that month. Just something so that I'm not building up my stash here in Michigan right before we move, unless it's something that I need or know that I won't be able to get in New York. So kind of where I am. Having said all of that, when I was at Spun, I love Spun. Spun's great. I picked up a pack of Prim hooks. I've heard mixed reviews about Prim hooks. I've heard, well, everybody was really excited when they first came to the States and you could buy them here, because I believe that they are an Australian, no, they're made in Germany. Anyway, they're made in Germany, and it was hard to get them here for a while. And then when they came out, everyone was like, oh, these are great, these are awesome. And then I started to hear that maybe they weren't so great, they weren't so awesome, and that they squeaked a lot. This is what they look like. This is the one I've been using the past couple of days. And they're plastic hooks. They have a little bit of a grippy handle. They're slightly different shape than a furl, so they're a little narrower that way than that way. But I will say, if you've never tried an ergonomic hook before and you're not sure if you're going to like it, and you want to try it more than one colors don't matter, more than one size, I think that Prims are a good place to start. I got the whole set from my local yarn store for 32 bucks. It came with 5 hooks, and they had 2 different options. So this one was size E through a J, and because I had just broken my J on the corner to corner blanket, I knew I needed one of those, and I knew I needed an E for my Lagom sweater. So it was perfect for me, and they're color coordinated by size, so it's easy to keep up with which one is which. And I will say that the hook size is probably hard to see. It's also on the hook itself at the bottom. It's engraved into the rubbery part, so it's a little hard to see unless you know where you're looking, but that's where the hook sizes are on the hooks. But because they're color coordinated, you can say, oh yeah, I need the fuchsia one or whatever for what I'm working on. So I like them. I haven't had an issue with them squeaking with the wool that I'm using right now. I'm using a merino wool. I like the hook head. I like the length of the neck. I like these. So try them out if you want an affordable option, because with the furls, I love the furls. They're about, depending on what you get, if you got a resin hook, 20, let's say $25-ish a hook. That can rack up, and you could get 5 hooks here for 32 bucks-ish, depending on where you buy them, and try different sizes. So let me know if you've tried these. Prim, P-R-Y-M, in the comments below, or if you would give them a shot. If you like ergonomic hooks, I've heard really good things about the Clover Amours. A lot of people swear by those. I have not tried them yet. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like a metal hook and then something else at the bottom, but maybe I should try them. I'm also thinking, if you want like a hook review video from me, let me know in the comments below, because I think that that could be cool too, and I think I would have enough time to do that pretty soon. But that's a Prim hook. I like them. I think that they work well. I'm not gonna put that in the back of the box. About to use that again. Okay, I'm gonna end with yarn that I got. Now, this is not yarn that I bought this month. I bought this in October of last year, but it just came in. And it had a very long dye time. Like when I bought it, I knew it could take up to 12 weeks. And I think it's about what it took. So I bought from Coast to Coast. I've never bought from them before. And she had a collection called Book Tropes. And I fell in love with these colors. I think you can see why. Look at these. They are scrumptious. The blue one is called Fall from Grace. They're all book trope titles. And it's got blues, kind of a coppery speckle in it, lighter blue, darker blue. Really, really pretty. I like this a lot. And that's Fall from Grace. All of these are on a fingering weight yarn, so very skinny. And they're all 100% superwash merino. So that's Fall from Grace. This one is called Grumpy Sunshine. I love that. It's not too far off from the color that I used in my goldfinch sweater, which I love. It looks really good on me. And these, made for each other. Absolutely made for each other. And then this one was the one that I liked the most. And even now I'm like, should I have just gotten a sweater quantity of this? Maybe. It's so pretty. This one is called Chosen One. And I don't know what it is about like the kind of taupey, creamy base with the orange and yellow. I just haven't seen things like this before. I like it a lot. So these are all three together. They're perfect. I love them. I think that these are dyed in Kansas. Yep, they are indeed dyed in Kansas. So US Yarn Company. And I'm going to be using these as part of the Make It Cal 2023 that TL Yarn Crafts is doing, where you pick one of her patterns and you just make something for 5 weeks. And she's got some great giveaways. I think Lion Brand is this week. Sorella is 1 week. I don't remember who else is going on, but I'm going to be making her flat iron shawl with this because I've always wanted to make it. And I haven't decided if I want this on the skinny side or if I want to end in this color. I think I want to end in this color because it's my favorite. So you get to see the most of it when you're wearing it. And then I'm going to cheat a little bit of this stripe that's in the middle of that pattern to use it on the border. So these are going to become that. I love them. I wanted to wait until I could show them to you here before I wound them up, but I will wind them up today and probably start that shawl tonight. So love it. And that's all I've got for you this week. What I can't let go this week is just the joy of having time. I think that's been a recurring theme over these chats, is just actually having time where you're not mentally somewhere else, when you can mentally and physically slow down, knock out some things on your want to do list instead of just things on I have to do list. It's just really nice. Like having snow days back to back was not in my plan this week. I did plan on taking off a couple of days of work because I was finishing a big job with long-term subbing, and I wanted a couple of days off to kind of recoup before starting other jobs. But it's just been nice to have the gift of time and space. Like I did yoga yesterday, and I haven't done yoga in a long time, even though it doesn't take that long. It takes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on what video you pull up, what yoga with Adrian I pick. But it was just nice to feel like I had the time and the energy and just the mental space to do that. So if you do have some time coming up, take it. Don't feel selfish about doing something that you want to do with that time, because it makes you more full to give to other people later. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you back here next week. Bye, guys.